Hello, this is Philip Carr-Gomm. Welcome to Tea with the Druid 118. It's good to be with you. Do say if you're here. There's always that tense moment as a presenter when you don't know if your mic is working properly or that people can see you. So do say if you can see and hear, and it'll be great to hear from you. And I'll begin by here we go. Lenny from the Netherlands, the first in, followed closely, feels like a horse race commentary, followed closely by Mark with Douglas Cowell coming up from Swampscott, next to Salesman, followed closely by Andre Boer from the Netherlands and Ellie Tallett and John King from Scotland. Rennie Hess is coming in from Germany, and so on. I won't do any more. But lovely to see you, and I always see this beautiful forest clearing with everybody coming in from all over the world, from Germany and Portugal, and now more than ever, this feeling that we can come together. I can feel like I want to cry actually saying this feeling that we can come together is so important. You know, Stephanie and I have been isolating ourselves because of certain health issues that we have to consider, and this morning I met a colleague. He works in child psychotherapy and adolescent psychotherapy, and he and I met each other walking in the woods, and we stood back and we did a little dance about 2 or 3 meters apart and then had a discussion. What a strange time we're living through at the moment. But thank God we can come together in these ways. Thank heavens for the internet. Blessings to all those who invented it and keep it running. Because even though Isalinda in Portugal and Anya in Germany and John in Scotland may not want to or be able to go out very far from where they live, at least here we can come together. Thank you to River and Kerry for the last 2 tea sessions. It's lovely to do this with colleagues, not always for me to be presenting these evenings. So I want to wish you a happy equinox, and somehow at a time like this that seems rather facile to say happy equinox when you might well say, well, what's happy about this? It's all pretty awful. It's like some weird dystopian futuristic tale that's happening to us and we can't quite cope with it. But let's think about this for a moment. The equinox is the time of balance where day and night are equally balanced. And in a strange way, whilst it feels that everything is out of balance, everything is topsy-turvy and upside down, and yet, I don't know whether you agree with me here, tell me if you agree, in a strange way, I can feel the balance occurring. Penny Billington said in an email to me, it feels a bit like Christmas time, where suddenly the rush stops and everything goes quiet and everything isn't so manic. And people are just taking the time to be with themselves and to notice the small details of life. And it feels like that. It feels like there's a sort of slowing down. Of course, a speeding up too. I mean, if you're working in healthcare services, if you're working in all sorts of ways. In fact, I've had an incredibly busy few weeks, really. We've had to cancel a huge event we had planned in Glastonbury with 600 people, and having to make decisions about in all sorts of ways, and talking over the internet with lots of different people and doing decision making around that, and then going through the process of postponement and so on. At the same time, there are 5 of us working in the office, and some of us are high-risk cases, and so we're having to work from home, and we're having to arrange all that with all the computer systems. So there's a whole bunch of work being done, Matthew helping us amazingly with that. And so whilst I was saying everything was going quiet, it's not actually going quiet for us. We've also been working on a new website which went up today. Do have a look at it, druidry.org. It's a all singing, all dancing website. And more ideas are on their way. So, but there is a balancing on in the world of nature, because of course it's been tipped tremendously in favour of humanity, who've been pillaging the planet and wreaking havoc for centuries. And nature in certain places and in limited ways is coming back. On Saturday, I mentioned this piece of news I read in The Guardian about dolphins swimming in Venice in the canals. Apparently that's not correct, that's not true. But however, and The Guardian retracted that, and so I did too on the post. But fish are coming back into the canals, the water is clearer. And the weather's turning, certainly in England. And so the spring equinox is about hope. The autumn equinox, if you're in the southern hemisphere, is about fulfillment, promise and fulfillment. Spring brings promise. And then around the other side of the year, there's the fulfillment of the harvest. And what is the promise that we're seeing now? And what is the harvest too, some of the fulfillment that's occurring? Well, the harvest that is happening, just tentative steps, but it's happening, is fresher air, clearer skies, cleaner water. So the stress on the environment is tremendous. We haven't been living in balance. Now the balance is changing. So there is a shift, indeed. The birds are returning. People are saying that too, that they can hear the birds for the first time. So let's work with this and go into the grove together. And for those of you who are new to this space, what we do is, I chat with some ideas for about 10 minutes, and then we have a short meditation. And the reason for the short meditation is because we all have different needs. If you're one of the people who has a really heavy caseload at the moment, you're maybe in the medical profession or working really hard, then you only have the time to dive in deeply. But the great thing about this kind of work is even just a 10-minute dive can really refresh and restore you. If you have more time, if you're isolating at home, if you have more time on your hands, then you can afford and have the time to go deeper. And at the end of this session, I'll talk about that. We've come up with a project to help with that. But for the moment, let's dive deeply in. I'm seeing your comments coming up. Really lovely, Emile Hart. That's beautiful. That comment there, and Heather. Yes, I so look forward to reading your comments. And that's saying she's struggling. I mean, we can't deny the fact that this is an extraordinarily difficult time. All sorts of challenges. Hence the project that we're starting, that I'll tell you about after our meditation. Let's go into our meditation now. And this is just the kind of meditation where you really don't have to make an effort. You can just listen to the words. You can say, well, I'll listen now and I'll do it later. Or you can fully enter into it and close your eyes and go deep. I'm going to occasionally open my eyes just to check that I've still got the broadband connection. So sitting here, becoming aware of being in front of the computer or the screen. Just allow yourself to be fully aware of being where you are, and then gently close your eyes or turn your attention inwards to become aware of yourself. Take in a deep breath through the nostrils, hold for a moment, and then breathe out fully and deeply. Take in another deep breath into the belly Hold for a moment, and then breathe out fully and deeply. And let's do it a third time, in your own time. And gradually become aware of just moving in your awareness through some trees. Maybe you get a sense of passing through the trunks of the trees to come into a clearing. And you're coming into a clearing in the forest. This is a place of peace and calm. If you work in the Druid tradition, you'll know this as the sacred grove. This is a sacred grove, a clearing in the woods. And just sit in the woods and really connect to the earth beneath you. Become aware of the earth. I'd like to suggest that it's just before dawn. Dawn is about to break. It's the time of the spring equinox. And the spring equinox in the Druid tradition is called Olben Eila, the light of the earth, the light in the earth. So you connect now to the earth and all the creatures in the earth, the energy of the soil, the moisture, all the thousands and thousands of organisms in the earth. And you allow that energy to just flow up into you as you breathe in and you breathe out. And some people experience the energy of the earth as light, the light in the earth. And if that helps you, you can just sense this delicious, gentle light of the earth flowing up your body, up your legs and thighs, through your trunk, up your torso and up to the top of your head. And your awareness moves now to the trees around you, and you sense their roots deep in the earth. And you sense how the trees behind you and around you are firmly anchored in the earth, yet their trunks rise up, bringing you a sense of protection, of strength, and of healing. And then you become aware of the sky above you. And with your inner eyes you look up and you see the dawn light just beginning. The sky is getting lighter, that lovely colour it takes on at dawn. And you breathe in the energy of the sky, in the fresh air. And you breathe in deeply this energy of the sky. And the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And just sense now the first light of dawn, the rays of sun coming up, and it's sparkling through the trunks of the trees. And if you close your inner eyes, you can just feel this dawn light on your brow, flickering and moving on your brow. And even now you can detect the warmth in that light. And then you notice you can smell the scent of hyacinths, just as you breathe in, that are growing somewhere near at hand, because as you breathe in, You smell this fragrance, and you move your attention to your breath now. And just breathe in the smell of hyacinth, of any flower in fact that comes to you. Just breathing in and breathing out. And make that the focus of your attention for a while. And with every breath in, you breathe in the energy of life. And with every breath out, you relax more deeply. And you can feel how the sunlight is warming your heart and your soul. There's a warm glow in the center of your being. That you might experience as light or as temperature. You might just feel the warmth in the depths of your being, in the center of you. In your essential self. And you know that that essential self is like a seed, is like a flower, that is soaking in the warmth of the sun, that is drawing energy up from the earth, that is feeding on the moisture from the earth and in the air. And you bring your focus back to your breathing. Just breathing in and breathing out. And now you place the palms of your hands in your imagination on the earth in front of you. So you imagine that your palms are on the earth in front of you. And as you do this, you might sense a whole circle of fellow beings from all over the world gathered in this sacred grove at this time. And all their palms are on the earth too. And each of us is sending our love to the earth and asking that the earth might be healed, that the earth might be made whole, that the rivers might run clear, that the air might be pure and clear too. Our blessings on the earth, our blessings on the sky, a blessing on our lives, and a blessing on the land. You might want to move one of your palms or both your palms to your heart. And then as you do this, perhaps even physically do it, you feel yourself coming back to yourself and you allow your awareness of the sacred grove to fade as you become aware of being seated in front of your screen, fully present, here and now. So great to be with you. I hope you enjoyed that. It's lovely seeing people cross-talking as well, waving it to each other across the circle. People say other, and hello to all those to me and so on. Yeah. Now, I hope that was helpful. And what I want to suggest, as I mentioned, is what I'm aware of is that there are many of us who are actually on an enforced retreat. I don't know whether you're like me, but I've certainly wanted to take a retreat, a prolonged retreat, for years. I've done lots of retreats. I've run retreats. I've gone and stayed at places in retreat for probably never longer than, I don't know, 2 weeks or so. But now a lot of us are being faced with the situation of being on a retreat at home. So what I've done is I've asked myself the question, what would I find the most useful on a retreat? And the answer is I'd like a little bit of guidance. I'd like not too much, because there's lots around. I'm getting loads of emails of people offering stuff, and it's all marvelous. But what I'd like is a very deep meditation, and my favored one is a style of yoga nidra called Druid nidra, where we work with Druidry, as it were, set in nature in a yoga nidra style. And I find these extremely restorative, extremely healing. And so I trained as a yoga nidra teacher, and I've started doing retreats the last couple of years. I have done retreats where we've done it together in a group, and I've recorded them and so on. And so what I've decided to do is set up a site called the Garden of Flowing in Perpetual Happiness, a home retreat, coming home to yourself. And this is a free offering where you go on, you sort of log in and register. And every Monday I'll put up a yoga nidra, a long nidra, and some poetry and some inspirational quotations. And I'll also, as we go along, I'll weave in techniques and ideas that I've found helpful from Druidry, from psychosynthesis, from sophrology, from various spiritual traditions, Jainism as well, which I've studied. And you're really welcome to join in that too. And there's a community section too, so you can share and exchange and talk within that as well. So do have a look at it. I will post up now, before I forget, I will post up the URL, which I shall stick in here. Art of Living Well, home retreat. Again, in case it hasn't, there. Pin it to the top as well. So maybe I'll see it. So that's all pre-recorded. So you can go on there now if you want a longer meditation now. The idea is that'll be available for a week, and I find with a nidra it's good to use the same one for at least a week rather than lots of different ones. It's up to you, but I talk about that on the site. So you have a look at that and have a wonderful week, inspiring, calm week, I hope, and stay safe and stay well. Lots of love. Bye. I'll read your comments later. Okay, bye.